A very big hello to my super awesome 10th graders out there. I hope you are doing absolutely good. And what if I tell you, if you watch this video, you're going to score the best in the class. You don't believe me? Well, you have to. And you will see the same type of questions on the day of your examination as well. This is our guarantee. So in this video, you will get all the questions from physics, chemistry as well as biology all in one covered. You just have to take a pen and a notebook and make sure you're writing down the concepts which are mostly repeated. And if at all you want the PDF, you have to comment down that, ma'am, please give the PDF. We will definitely provide you the PDF as well. All clear? All good? Let's begin. Starting with biology, my dear children. Here is the first question. So initially, we'll start off with sample question paper. So in sample question paper, this year's sample question paper, I have segregated chapter wise so that you don't need to get troubled around. So first chapter that we have is life processes, and according to the sample question paper, we saw you are getting 13 marks from this chapter itself. Okay, starting with the first question that we have, select the group in which all organisms have the same mode of nutrition. You have to select the group of organism which has the same type of nutrition. It can be parasitic, it can be saprophytic, it can be something else also. So over here, cuscuta, yeast, legumes, leeches and tapeworm is given. By this itself, when I see leech, when I see cuscuta, when I see tapeworm, I get to understand that it is talking about what? Parasitic mode of nutrition, where you depend on a living host, my dear children. Now you have to group all the organisms which are just parasitic. Over here in the first group, yeast is saprophytic, not parasitic. Similarly, legumes is not parasitic, my dear children, so this is wrong. Okay, over here, ticks, lice, leeches and cow is there. Cow is not in this group, whereas others are in this group. Now, cuscuta, ticks, lice, leeches and tapeworm, all of them, they are parasite. Cuscuta is plant parasite, rest all of them are what? Other organisms parasite. Now, cactus is a plant. They are showing autotrophic mode of nutrition, right? Grass also autotrophic mode of nutrition. Lion, Baba, it does not show parasitic mode of nutrition, so I'll cancel this out. You have just one answer, and that is C. Now, which of the following options indicate the products formed after breakdown of the glucose in our muscle cells when there is lack of oxygen? When there is lack of oxygen, what type of respiration goes off? It is anaerobic respiration. And what is the result of anaerobic respiration in human body? Baba, it is what? What happens? The pyruvate which is being formed. Glucose converts to pyruvate, but the pyruvate breaks down to what? Lactic acid and also energy. Energy is also known as ATP, nothing else. So your answer would be what? B, lactic acid plus energy. So over here, ethanol, carbon dioxide, energy is given. This is for yeast. This is not for human beings. Lactic acid, carbon monoxide. No. Carbon dioxide, water and energy again. This is a result of aerobic respiration, not anaerobic respiration. So your only answer is B. Okay. Now, unlike animals, this is 2-marker questions that have come this year in sample question paper. Unlike animals, plants do not have any excretory products as they do not eat food. Is that true? Don't they excrete? Comment upon the statement with justification. This is one of the most repeated concepts out there. It can be asked, what are the excretory products of plants as well? So, plants definitely, they excrete in the forms of what? In the forms of tears. They excrete in the form of water. The water is lost to transpiration, my dear children, yes. And when you talk about photosynthesis, they give out oxygen. Oxygen is a waste for them, so they are giving it out. Okay, excess of oxygen. Some oxygen they use for respiration. Apart from it, whatever comes through, it is given out as well. So that is being excreted out through the stromatal pores, my dear children. So water through transpiration, oxygen through stromatal pores, and then what? You have certain things which cannot be removed very easily. So they are removed in the form of raisins and things like that, which is being gums, raisins and all. Okay, so these are the excretory products of plants. Now, how many chambers are there in the heart of the following organism? You have to tell me, okay? And how is mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood prevented in their body? Fishes, what do they have? How many chambers of heart? They just have 2 chambers of heart. What about human beings? We have 4-chambered heart, my dear children. In the case of human beings, we have septa, separating what? Separating the left side of the heart and the right side of the heart. Cool. Got it? And in the case of fishes, my dear children, their heart only receives deoxygenated blood. It is the gills that receives what? Oxygenated blood, and it's the other body parts that receives the oxygenated blood. None of the other parts gets the oxygenated blood. You need to know that. Now, explain the mechanism by which water is transported in the case of plants. How is water transported? By phloem? No, phloem, for food. Okay, it is xylem through which water is getting transported, and always remember, water transportation that happens in the case of plants is through the tracheids and the vessels of xylem, tracheids and vessels of xylem. And here what theory is being used? Transpirational pull theory. During transpiration, through evaporation, water is lost. Now this creates a pull. Now water is pulled from down to up, my dear children. So that is transpirational pull theory, which applies over here in the case of water transport. You should be knowing it. And let me tell you, the answers to these questions are given in this in the marking scheme that is given by CBSE itself. You know, sample question paper is given. Along with that, they have also given you how you should be answering the question. So I'll definitely recommend you to go through that. If at all you're not finding the link, ask me. Again, in the comment section, I'll give it to you. Okay? Perfect? Chalo. Now, one more question came. This is a 4-marker question that came this year, and that is Neha consumed boiled potato, boiled sweet potato and boiled eggs for breakfast. Help her to understand the steps in the process of digestion of food taken by her by answering the questions given below. So, which of these food items is rich in protein? Sweet potatoes and boiled eggs. Which one is rich in protein? What does the gym trainer say? Have eggs, because the egg white contains a very important protein which is known as albumin. Now, which part of the alimentary canal is the digestion of this component initiated? Okay, so where does protein gets broken down initially? It's in the stomach. In the stomach, what do we have? In the stomach, what do we have? We have pepsin. Pepsin is a protease. It's an enzyme that breaks down protein, okay, into peptides. So name the enzymes, condition required and the glands associated with digestion over here. So over here, my dear children, what is the enzyme? It is pepsin. Initially, our stomach releases pepsinogen, but it is converted to pepsin when and during what conditions? When acidic medium is provided. So in our stomach, HCl is also being released, which provides the acidic medium, my dear children. And when HCl is produced, my dear children, you have to protect the stomach from degradation, which is why you release mucus also. So mucus is there, HCl is there, and the enzyme which is there, it is pepsin. Now, which of these food items, or question is also there, which of these food items contains fats? Sweet potato, boiled egg, which of them contains the fat, my dear children? Fat. It's there in the egg. In the egg, you know, the egg yolk which is there, it contains the fat. And how is it digested? So in our body, again, what happens? You know, bile juice which is produced by the liver. Bile juice which is produced by the liver and is stored in the gallbladder, right? What does it do? It actually emulsifies the fat. That means it breaks down the big fat globules into smaller fat globules. Now, once they are broken down to smaller fat globules, pancreas releases an enzyme which is known as lipase. Okay, now this lipase is going to act on the fat molecules and it is going to break them down into what? Glycerol and triglycerides. Okay? Works. So that is there. Now, which of these food items is rich in starch? Sweet potato, boiled eggs, obviously it is sweet potato. Now, how is the digestion initiated? First thing, when we have saliva, my dear children, the saliva has salivary amylase. That basically acts on sugars. Starch is what? A form of sugar only. So, it acts on starch and breaks it down to what? Maltose. So, please remember, it's in the mouth itself. Now, the figure given below represents part of the human alimentary canal. Which of these parts will have the maximum amount of digested food as soon as the process of digestion is completed? So, which one will have the maximum amount? Is the small intestine where the maximum amount of digestion takes place, my dear children. Okay, always remember that, because you have villi and all those things out there, microvilli, which is why the most amount of digestion takes place there, and also you have lots of enzymes up there as well. Okay, the final digestion takes place over here. Cool? Chalo. Now, the other questions which can come, which is not in your SQP, that is sample question paper, are these. How is the small intestine designed to absorb digested food? It has villi, it has microvilli, which increases surface area for absorption of things and things like that. How are fats digested in our bodies? I already told you. First of all, you have the bile juice, emulsification happens, and then lipases act. Okay, and then what is the role of saliva in the digestion? Saliva has what? Bicarbonate ions, which make things basic, and now salivary amylase becomes active, which is why it breaks down starch into what? Maltose. Now, why veins have thicker walls than arteries? Why veins have thicker walls than arteries? No, it's a wrong question. Just a second. Why arteries have thicker walls than veins? Why does it have, my dear children? Because heart pumps the blood through arteries to the all part of a body. So whenever you want to take blood away from the heart, away, right? Away from the heart, you take arteries. So arteries are the one that directly gets blood from the heart. So heart blood's in too much pressure, so arteries have to withstand that, which is why they have thicker walls than veins. And the one question can be asked, why veins have what? This valves. Why veins have valves but arteries do not have? So arteries are under pressure, so blood does go to one side, but veins, they carry back the blood towards the heart, towards the heart, vein, right? So it carries the blood towards the heart. There is no much pressure, which is why blood can come back also, which is why they have valves, so that the backflow can be prevented. Now, what is the role of acid in our stomach? You know. What is the role for given an acidic environment, so is that the pepsinogen get converted into what? Pepsin, and also for killing down the germs out there. Now, what is the function of digestive enzymes? I just told you, you have to write about all the enzymes up there. Please make sure you write that, otherwise you'll lose your marks. Pepsin, trypsin, lipase, all of it. Okay, salivary amylase, all of it. Starting from the mouth, going up till intestine. Now, how are the lungs designed in human beings to maximize the area for exchange of gases? It is alveoli. You have to talk more about it. If at all you can help with a diagram also, you can make the diagram of the respiratory system and show it to them. Label it. This is alveoli and this is how you need to explain. Now, what are the differences between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition? You know, autotrophic, that means they make their own food. Heterotrophic, they depend on others for food. Autotrophic, they make from simple inorganic nutrients, they convert into complex organic nutrients. What do heterotrophs do? They basically break down this complex organic nutrients into what? Simpler ones. So that's the role that they do. Give explanation, give examples, and that's all. Perfect. What are the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration? One needs oxygen, other cannot. So what happen in when oxygen is not there? You have to tell what are the different byproducts that you get in both these conditions. Okay, one lactic acid is produced, other where carbon dioxide, water, and energy is being produced. All of that. Now, describe double circulation of blood in human beings. It is very important. Double circulation means your blood, okay, it moves twice through the heart. Once it is oxygenated, when it comes back, it becomes deoxygenated. So it occurs twice to the heart. It goes twice through the heart. Okay, one is pulmonary circulation, other one is systemic circulation. You talk about both of them and you get your marks. Now, my dear children, the sole purpose of this video is to give you questions, okay, but if at all you feel that, ma'am, I need explanation of certain questions as well, as I told you, if you need them, you have to tell us in the comment section. So we thought we give you question banks. Now, my dear children, I'll tell you, you are an AI generation. You can just take a snip of it and ask them to give you the quick answers for it. It will definitely give you as well, if at all you need that way. Okay, ask them how you should be writing on the day of your examination. It will write like that. Now, but yes, we are here to help you. If you need our help, definitely let us know. I just give you other way also. So what are the difference between transport of materials in xylem and phloem? Xylem is unidirectional, phloem is multidirectional. In xylem, you do not need much amount of energy, but over here you need energy. It's an active transport mechanism, things like that. Explain digestion in amoeba. You have to tell about ingestion, absorption, digestion, absorption, assimilation, egestion, all of the steps, and you have to make the diagram as well. Now, write the steps of urine formation. Very important. You have to talk about what do you call selective reabsorption. Okay, sorry, glomerular filtration first, then selective reabsorption, then tubular secretion. All of these three steps have to be explained properly, again with the help of diagrams wherever needed. Okay. Now, there are few diagrams which are very important. One is this. They will ask you, what is this? What is this? What is this? So, this particular thing that you see over here is palisade mesophyll. This particular thing is spongy mesophyll. And this particular thing is guard cells. All of them have chloroplast. Most of the chloroplasts are found in palisade. Then comes spongy and then comes guard cells. So, first position, second position, third position. Now, this is what the digestion in the case of amoeba. You have to draw and show it to them. This is the structure of nephron. Very important. Labeling super important. So, you need to know that. Okay, chalo. Next, this is the structure of heart. Again, labeling is very important. Make sure you at least know to make the flow chart of how things work in the case of heart. Cool. And now this particular image, which is again given in your NCERT. Okay, super important. Glucose converted to pyruvate, and then what happens in yeast when absence of oxygen is there, what happens in muscle cells when absence of oxygen is there, what happens in mitochondria, what are the different products, what do you get. Okay, so over here always remember pyruvate is being formed, but when pyruvate is being formed, energy is also being formed. Remember, it's a 3-carbon compound, here it's a 6-carbon compound. So from one glucose you get 2 pyruvate. Okay, because one pyruvate is just 3 carbon. So from 6 you get 2 pyruvate molecules. So all of these things very super important. Okay. Now going ahead to the next chapter, that is control and coordination. Again, the 1 marker questions given in your SQP is, which of the following is a correct combination on function and part of the brain? Posture and balance, cerebrum. No, it is cerebellum. Salivation, medulla in the midbrain. Wrong. Okay. Hunger, pons in the hindbrain. Wrong. Okay. First of all, medulla is in the hindbrain. Salivation can be done by medulla, but it is in the hindbrain, not the midbrain, right? And hunger, pons in the hindbrain. Hunger is controlled by hypothalamus, my dear children. Okay, not this. Now, and hypothalamus is a part of what? Is a part of forebrain. Now over here, blood pressure, medulla in the hindbrain, correct. Okay. Blood pressure is controlled by medulla in the hindbrain. Now, the blood glucose level in the patient was very high. It may be due to the inadequate secretion of what? What controls the blood sugar level? It is insulin secreted by pancreas. When insulin is there, it converts glucose to what? Glycogen. Okay, that is the role of insulin, and it is released by the pancreas. So, probably there is a problem here. Here. Okay, cool. Now, tallness of pea plant is controlled by enzyme, is it? Yes. What is the need of enzyme? This enzyme probably helps in the making of growth hormone. Okay, so growth hormone is something else, but enzyme which is there, it is a protein. So tallness of a pea plant is controlled by what? A protein. A protein can be anything, it can be an enzyme also. Now, the gene for that enzyme makes the protein which held the plant to be tall. The gene which is there of that enzyme makes the protein. Is it correct? Yes. The genes which are there, it codes for the protein, and as I said, the protein can be anything, it can be enzyme. Right, and now this enzyme helps in the conversion of something toward growth hormone, and that is why the plant grows. So both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. This is again a SQP question, sample question, paper question. Okay. Now, one more question. Draw and explain how the nerve cells helps in transmission. Please make a proper diagram of a neuron. Show the dendrites. Tell the function of each of them. Dendrites. Then, so what do you call? Cell body, then axon, then dendrite terminal, all of it you have to explain properly. Okay, then only you will get marks. Now, here are other 2-3 marker questions. What are plant hormones? What is the difference between a reflex action and walking? Okay, draw structure of neuron and explain its function. What is the role of brain in the reflex action? All of it. Please take a screenshot. It can give you almost 2 to 3 marks. These are almost the repeated questions that you can see over here. This is very important question. Okay, how is involuntary actions and reflex action different from each other? This makes you think, and you do not have time to think during examination. So you need to prepare for that and then go. Similarly, what's the difference between reflex action and walking? Okay, you will be also asked to make reflex arc. This is again a very, very important part of the story. Okay, so what a motor neuron, sensory things. Okay, first sensory, then sensory neuron, then it goes to spinal cord, then motor neuron is there, then you have a reaction to it. All of it you have to show. Cool, take a screenshot of it, it helps you. Now this diagram is very important. They ask about the role of auxin in thigmotropism as well as phototropism. So this is an example of phototropism. Make sure you know it. Similarly, positive phototropism, negative phototropism. Okay, negative geotropism, positive geotropism. All of it really, really important. You should know the direction of each of them. Now going ahead with the next chapter, that is our environment, gives you 5 marks according to the sample question paper. First question, what is the correct statement related to ozone? Ozone layer helps in increasing the UV radiation reaching the earth. Baba, no. Ozone is a deadly poison. Yes, it is a deadly poison when it is in ground level. Okay. Ozone layer shields the earth from UV radiation. Correct. 2 and 3 is correct. Ozone layer prevents UV rays which causes skin cancer. Correct. Ozone is formed with the help of chlorofluorocarbons. No. Chlorofluorocarbons break down the ozone. So 2, 3 and 4 is correct. So which is why your answer is this. Which are the following human activities has resulted in increase in non-biodegradable substances? Increase in non-biodegradable substances. Organic farming, increase in tree plantation, use of plastic as packaging material, composting of kitchen waste. 3 points are really, really good. Okay, only 1 point is bad, and that is your answer. Use of plastics as packaging material. Now, vulture will always have the least amount of pesticide in a food chain. Is it true? Vulture is a top carnivore, and top carnivores will have high amount of pesticide. Remember biomagnification, when you go up level, my dear children, the amount of pesticide, it increases. Why? Because pesticide in our body does not go off, it stays in our body, which is why some organism is consuming me, they will also get it. Okay, and consuming someone else like me, they will get double of it. You get it? So yes, so this will have least, it's a wrong statement. Now vulture occupies the last trophic level and it gets only 10% of energy of the previous trophic level. Yes, it occupies the last trophic level and it gets the 10% of the previous trophic level. That is true. So reason is true, but reason is true, but the assertion is false. This becomes your answer. Okay. Now other questions that you should be, one more question is there, 2-marker question. About 100 acres of forest land was declared as natural reserve park. The following organisms were predominant in the natural reserve park: rabbit, frog, grass, fish, fox, water, insect, zebra, peacock, snake, trees, birds, owl, and everything is given over here. Create a food web comprising 2 separate food chains with different producers by using the given data. So you can make 2 of them. For one you use tree, the other one you use grass as a primary trophic in the lower trophic level, and then you give different organism. Make sure you have one common in both of them so that you can interlink them to make a food web. Now this answer was given in your marking scheme. Okay, so tree food chain, grassland food chain, and then join the food chain at a common point, that is zebra. Can you make that? You can make that. Now other questions which may come: how does biodegradable waste act as pollutant? You never imagine them to be pollutant, but biodegradable waste, when they accumulate for a longer time, some organisms come, you can spread diseases with that. There's foul smell, all of it. Now explain the role of CFCs in ozone damage. You have to explain it properly with the help of equations and things like that. CFCs breaks the ozone and now it is converted to oxygen and things like that. Ozone at ground level is dangerous. Why? Because people can have respiratory issues. At the stratosphere level it's good, but in ground level it's a deadly poison. If we breathe it, we will have respiratory issues, we'll have eye vision issues, lot of things. Okay, so that is it. And now now the next chapter is how do organisms reproduce. Over here you have 2 questions given in your SQP, and my dear children, it's a 5-marker question. This or this, either of them you can attempt. Punit wanted to grow banana plant. Based on your knowledge on plant reproduction, should he opt for seeds or any alternate methods of reproduction? Banana with the seeds? No. Banana is something that has lost their seed forming capacity itself, my dear children. So you can take stem cutting method for formation of banana. Okay, you can tell that. Offsprings of banana plant usually show very little variation. What causes variation, and are variation good or bad? Variation can be good, variation can be bad. You have to explain that. So over here I have exactly copied the marking scheme question. Errors and variation in DNA copying causes variation. How is variation occurring? When DNA is being copied, whenever you want to make a new organism, you copy the DNA and give it to both of them, right? So whenever copying is happening, my dear children, what is happening? There could be errors also, and these errors can cause variation. Now variation is good. Why? Because it helps you survive during unfavorable condition, but sometimes the variations can lead to bad variations also. Okay, so such that I am not able to survive in a new condition, okay, or I have lost the good part of the story itself. So that is the thing, you have to explain it properly. You can read the answer and then write it. So as I said, Punit should not choose seeds as banana plants have lost the capacity to produce seeds. He should go for vegetative propagation of banana by stem cutting. Okay, now one more question is there. Annie was conducting research on number of fruits produced by watermelon under different conditions. She grew 25 watermelon plants, each in both glass house A and B. She introduced pollinators in glass house A. Now, what is the difference that she will observe in glass house A and B? My dear children, in A, where pollinators are there only pollination will happen, there only watermelon will be formed. Why? Because watermelon is a unisexual, is a plant that has unisexual flowers. That means either male, either female. Cannot have both. So you need pollinators, otherwise pollination will not happen. So one plant will be female plant, other plant will be what? Male plant. You get it? So for that pollination should happen, you need pollinators out there. So that's why glass A will be there. You have studied in your NCERT, 2 plants are given, papaya and watermelon, both of them having unisexual flowers. On the other hand, H and M, hibiscus and mustard, both of them have bisexual flowers. For them, pollinators are needed, but not too much, just as how it is needed over here. Now list 3 changes that will occur in flower once it gets fertilized. So you have to talk about that. Ovule develops a tough coat and becomes what? Seed. Ovary grows and ripens to form a fruit. Petals, sepals and everything fall down and things like that. Okay, so please make sure you're reading all, and with this I hope you understand what is the importance of the marking scheme that they have given. Now there are few 2 to 3 marker questions, again very important of done. Explain the role of placenta during pregnancy, very important. Describe budding in hydra with the help of label diagram. Name the mode of reproduction in rhizopus. Rhizopus is what? Bread mold, and they they actually do it with the help of spore germination, spore formation. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of asexual reproduction. Advantage, it can be really fast, many progenies can be produced, okay, same type of plants will be produced. Disadvantage, same type of plants are produced, no variation is there. Okay, so that is disadvantage. Differentiate between self-pollination and cross-pollination, given in NCERT, go through it. How does sexual reproduction promote genetic variation, and why is this variation important for survival of the species? So how? Because in sexual reproduction you have two different parents out there, so which is why two new different type of genes are coming together, and apart from that there can be some errors also, which is why you get new variations out there. And why is variation important? Because it can help you survive under unfavorable condition. Give an example of it. One has this variation, which is why it can survive at high temperature. One does not have this variation, which is why it won't be able to survive. So all of these type of questions. So I think biology has the most number of chapters coming in your half yearly examination, which is why I took most of your time. But my dear children, be sure, if at all you want more questions from heredity chapter also, you can ask me in the comment section. I can give it to you, but in most of the schools I didn't find that chapter coming for this exam. So that's all. Now the next teacher would be coming ahead and explaining you the next subject out there. Wishing you all the best. You are going to ace your examination. Take care of yourself, and as I told you, if at all you have doubts, put it down. If at all you think that this video was helpful, also let me know in the comment section about that. So bye-bye, take care.
Hello 10th class students, so let's see the most important questions from the chapter chemical equations and reactions. Okay, so first of all, if you see, so I'll be telling you what pattern of questions you can expect in this particular chapter. So this is the sample paper of 2025-2026. So you can see a very simple question on the type of reaction and on balancing you will get. Okay, next you can see in the double displacement reactions what are the products formed, because it is a type of reaction. So from that also you can expect the questions. Okay, moving forward, these are the list of 2-marker important questions. So please have a look here, take a screenshot of these questions. Let me a bit aside. So first of all, you can take a screenshot and just list down these questions and prepare these questions. Okay, so for example, mostly the questions will be centered around the different types of reactions and balancing of reactions. Okay, so the first one, if you see, why are the food particles preferably packed in aluminium foil? So what was the reason for that? To keep it hot, right? To keep it because it is a like insulation type it works, so that can be one reason. So you have to explain that. Next you have what happens to lime water when CO2 gas. This is a very important question. The lime water turns milky, and then if you pass excess of carbon dioxide, it gets again colorless, or it gets dissolved. So that all reaction and the activity setup you should be knowing. Next we have for example, you can see a substance X is used for coating iron particles, and also this is from the galvanization and all. So these type of questions will be asked. What is precipitation reaction? The color of the compounds you should remember. Okay, next, oil and fat are flushed with nitrogen gas or rancidity, and also these all questions are very important. Please list down. Next, moving to 3-marker question, here you have the balancing of reactions, very important. Many questions will be asked from here. Okay, next, reactions based questions, oxidation, reducing agent, oxidizing agent. So this particular example is there in the book. This also will be asked again and again. Next you have thermal decomposition, electrolytic decomposition, photo decomposition. The examples of each type of decomposition reaction you should be knowing. Then moving to further 3-marker question, again you have these all questions are all case based questions. So please take a screenshot of this one. This is important slide, and try to answer this question. If you have any doubt in any question, you can put down in the comment section. I'll definitely address, but these are all case based questions that can be asked from this particular chapter. Next, moving to some more 3-marker questions. So this question I think is repeated. Okay, so then we have this coppers and coil, right? The chemical name of the black and green coating. So that is from the rusting or corrosion part. So that you should be knowing what is its name, its chemical formulas, everything should be known to you. Next, 5-marker question, this experiment based questions will be there. Hydrogen gases evolved, how to predict it. Carbon dioxide gas, how to predict it. So all the gas and their test should be known to you. Moving forward, we have the next chapter, that is acids, bases and salts. So from chemical reactions and equations, less questions will be asked, so I'm not going that much in detail. Let's go to the next chapter, that is acids, bases and salts. So basically how the indicator changes the color in the acidic medium and basic medium, that is one of the important question. Next, the pH value, how the pH value changes, less acidic, more pH value, more acidic, less pH value, and as we go towards the base, the pH value decreases. So the pH related concepts questions will be asked here. Then here we have also the milkiness of disappears, what is the reason for that, so that also you can explain, or that type of question is there. Now coming directly to the 4-marker question in the sample paper. So based on this conduction of electricity, the distilled water does not conduct because it does not have any ions, and when we add an acid it has ions. So acids, when it is dissolved in water, it produces ions, and now the water can conduct electricity. So based on that concept, a beautiful question is here. Now let me give you the list of, these are all your pH based questions. Okay, so this is there in the sample paper, you must practice this question. Now let's take this list of 2-marker question. Why should curd and sour substance not kept in brass and copper vessels? So you know these are acidic in nature, they can corrosive, so that is why we should avoid. Which gas is usually liberated when an acid reacts with a metal? It is a hydrogen gas. Okay, so you can give an example, and the test is when you bring a burning matchstick, it burns with a pop sound. Next, HCl does not change with dry litmus paper because with dry litmus paper it cannot produce ions. Okay, similarly you can just take a screenshot of this. Okay, these all questions are very simple, 2-marker, it can be asked, so you can just answer, just check the question. Any question you have doubt, you can put down in the comment section, I'll definitely address it and I'll give you the solution for that. Okay, next we have, just a minute, I'll go back to the slide in which we were. Yeah, okay. Next, you can see here you have 2 solutions, A and B. The pH of solution A is 6 and that of B is 8. Which solution has more hydrogen ion concentration? So you know less is the pH, more is acidic, so it will have more H plus concentration, so A will be the answer here. Which is acidic and which one is basic? So definitely less than 7, A is acidic, more than 7, B is basic. Next, you have seen why distilled water does not conduct electricity, because it does not have any ions. Next, fresh milk has a pH of 6. How do you think the pH will change as it turns into curd? So if you know, when the milk turns into curd, a lactic acid or an acid is produced there, so that is why the pH will go down and that is why it becomes sour. Next, drops of phenolphthalein indicator question is here, so how the color will change, that you should be knowing. Next, pungent smell is left in open, is precipitated by the reaction of dry compound. Why? With chlorine gas. It is used for disinfecting the water, so this is the question from chlorine gas, how does it react, how does it function, so that you should be knowing. Moving forward to the next question, that is 3-marker. Sodium carbonate, how do we prepare it? Solvay process basically, and then how is sodium hydrogen carbonate form a mixture with ammonium chloride and ammonium bicarbonate. So what is the reaction with that? That you should be knowing. Next, equations for the reactions. When sulfuric acid reacts with zinc, you get zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. Then hydrochloric acid with magnesium, magnesium chloride plus hydrogen gas. Dilute sulfuric acid with aluminium, so aluminium sulfate plus hydrogen gas. Okay, next you have what will you observe when red litmus is introduced in sodium sulfate? So how does the solution, how the litmus change in acidic medium blue to red, in basic medium red to blue, that concept should be there, so that you have to utilize here. Tartaric acid helps in making the cake fluffy or not, so directly the tartaric acid does not play a role, but when you have baking soda, when you added that, it decomposes to give you sodium carbonate, and this tartaric acid reacts with sodium carbonate to give you carbon dioxide, right? Next, you have why common salt becomes sticky. So you know it is something which absorbs the moisture, so that is why it becomes sticky. Blue vitriol changes to white upon heating, so it changes to white because when you heat it, what happens, the water evaporates and then you get a white color in that, so that is the reason. Next we have here, just a minute, yeah, Next, moving to 5-marker question, the pH of rainwater is collected from two cities A and B was found to be 6 and 5 respectively. Water of which city is more acidic? So you know the pH less than 7 is acidic. So from city B we are getting 5, right? The pH is 5, so that is more acidic. So from city B, find out the ratio of hydrogen ion concentration in the two samples of rainwater. So if you see, how can you solve this? Let me explain this one. So we have a relation that is pH is equal to minus log of H plus, right? Or I can say H plus is equal to 10 to the power of minus pH. Okay, so if I follow this one, then just let me write down A. Let me go to a blank slide and note it down. Okay, so for city A the pH was 6, okay, and for city B the pH was 5. So what is the H plus concentration here? It is 10 to the power of minus 6. This is 10 to the power of minus 5. So now if I find out a ratio between them, so it will be 10 to the power of minus 6 by 10 to the power of minus 5, which gives me 10 to the power of minus 1. Okay, so that is how you can find out the ratio here. Next, you can see arrange the following in the their pH values, which is having higher value, which is having less value. You have to arrange it. Next, a road tanker carrying an acid was involved in an acid accident, and it contains spill on the road. At the side of the road, iron drain cover began melting and freezing as the acid ran over them. A specialist was called to see if the acid actually leaked into the nearby river. Explain why specialist could carry out the sample test to see if the river water contains some acid or not. So yes, you can just carry the river water and test its litmus test you can do to find out whether it is having any acid contamination or not. Suggest a better report name for the word melting. Explain why the drain covers became fizzing as an acid ran over them. So drain cover was made up of iron. So when acid reacted with the iron, you will see a reaction taking place there. That is why it started fizzing. Next, the compound X is bitter in taste. It is component of washing powder. So this part question is from salts, the type of salts, all the salts composition, reaction you should remember, so that you can answer this question. Moving to the next chapter, metals and non-metals. So here you can see this is the question from the reactivity series, which can react with what, which can replace what. So that is the first question in the sample paper of 25-26. Next, you have an iron nail is there. So this question also from the reaction of the metals part. Next, this is a question in the experimental setup based on the physical properties of metal, that is on the basis of conductivity. Okay, thermal conductivity. Next, here is the question is from on the basis of the bond formation. So based on the information given above, answer the following questions. If P and Q combine to form a compound, what type of bond is formed between them? So if you see 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right, on the outermost shell we have 1 2 3 6 electrons are present, and here only 1 electron is present. So definitely this one will donate electron, this one will accept electron, so we will get an ionic compound here. Next, give the chemical formula of the compound. So if you see, this is P, right, so it will P, it will gain 2 electrons, and you have Q, it will lose 1 electron. So what I will get here, Q 2P, that will be the molecular formula here. Next, okay, the compound so formed is dissolved in water. In the resultant solution, acidic or basic? Justify your answer. So now here also you have to check that when it you have more of which ions, and based on that you can answer this. Next, write the chemical reaction for the reaction of Q and ethanol. So this is a reaction between Q and ethanol. What will be the formula of the compound formed when P undergoes bonding with carbon? So if you see, P is -2, carbon if it's +4, if you just take this one, we get P +4 and C2, right? If we cancel it, you will get P2C as the product formed here. Moving to the next 2-marker questions here. What would you observe when zinc granules is added to a solution of Fe sulfate? the chemical reaction taken place. So if you know zinc sulfate will form and Fe will come out, so there's a displacement reaction here. Why sodium is kept in kerosene oil? So sodium is highly reactive, it can immediately catches fire in air, so that is why to avoid its contact it is kept inside the kerosene oil. 2 ways to prevent rusting: galvanization, painting, greasing. You can write any 2. Amphoteric oxides that can react with both acids and bases, and examples: aluminium oxide. Next, metals are arranged in the reactivity series. Why hydrogen is kept in the series though it is not a metal? So hydrogen has an electropositive nature, like all metals it also loses electrons, so that is why it is kept in the reactivity series. Copper does not liberate hydrogen gas because it is present below hydrogen in the reactivity series. Calcium and magnesium are heavier than water but still float over it. Explain. So when calcium and when calcium and magnesium reacts with water, bubbles of hydrogen are formed, so they stick to that and this hydrogen bubbles carry them upward, and that is how when we see them it looks like it is floating. Okay. Next you have in the electro-refining of a metal M, what would you take as anode, cathode and the electrolyte? So the impure rod is to be taken as anode, pure rod is taken to be as cathode, and a salt of M should be taken as the electrolyte. Metal acts as a good reducing agent, it reduces Fe and MnO. The reaction with Fe is used for welding broken railway tracks. Identify the metal and write all the chemical reactions. So this is also from the chemical reactions of metal. From that you can easily answer this. Next you have yellow colored powder, X is formed. So this type of case based questions will be asked in the exam, not direct questions. So please prepare these questions thoroughly. Moving to the next one, 3 marker, which method of concentration of an ore? So you know there's a part that is purification of metals. So you have different types of purification of metals like roasting, calcination, these all processes are there. What methods are there for high reactive metals, low reactive metals, moderately reactive metals? So that you should be also knowing. Okay, so this is there. Next we have then you have an example of a metal which is liquid at room temperature. Mercury can be easily cut with knife. You have sodium and you have poor conductor of heat, so you can write any metal or which is a poor conductor of heat. Next you have write the electron dot structure for sodium, oxygen, magnesium, so the formation of Na2O. So this is just, let me give you an example how to do. For example, Na2O is there. Okay, Na2O. Sodium, or how will you draw? Sodium electronic configuration is 281, right? So if you draw sodium, 2 electrons are there, 8 electrons are there and 1 electron is there here, right? 2, I'm just drawing like this, 8 and 1. And oxygen, what is there? Oxygen electronic configuration is 2 and 6. So you have like this on the outermost shell. Okay, now what will happen? This one will donate 1 electron, okay, and this requires 2 electrons, right? So what will happen? There will be 1 sodium and there will be another sodium. Both the sodium will donate 1 electron to this one to form a complex, or to form this compound Na2O. So like this you have to draw and show the formation of the bond here. Okay, so yes students, this were 3 marker question. Then you can see on the 5 marker question also, please take a screenshot here. So these are all your chemical reactions based questions, and then you have how to basically the reactions of metals and non-metals questions will be asked. That is the major part. So here you can just practice these questions. If you have any doubt in any question, you can put down them in the comment section. And this is very important question, the displacement reactions, which metal can displace another based on the reactivity series. So please do check these questions, and if you have any doubt you can put down in the comment section. I'll be personally giving you the answer. So this is just a question list so that you don't face any problem, you prepare well, you don't miss out on these questions. Okay, so that's all students in this. So after that next subject will be continuing with physics. So thank you so much and all the best.
Now it's time for me to discuss all the important questions from your physics chapters. In half yearly most of you will be having the chapters chapters, light and human eye. So I am going to discuss the most important questions from these chapters. Now exactly the same question will definitely not come, but similar questions and the question pattern that I am going to discuss will be definitely be there, and if you solve these questions, then definitely you will be going to get a good mark in your upcoming half yearly exam. So let's start with the MCQ question. First, obviously we will start with the chapter light. MCQ questions. While looking at the above diagram, Nalini concluded the following: the image of the object will be virtual one, the reflected ray will travel along the same path as the incident ray but opposite direction, the image of the object will be inverted, this is a concave mirror, and hence focal length will be negative. Now you have to select which of the correct which of the option is correct. So this kind of question where a statement is given, a picture is given, and based on that you have to make an answer is very common in half yearly exams. So be prepared for such question. Now here is another question. Consider this incidence of refraction. So refractive indexes are given. Based on the refractive indices of three materials, arrange the speed of light through them decreasing order. So you have to arrange it according to the speed of light. Options are given, you have to choose the correct option, and if you understood that higher the refractive index means lower is the speed, lower is the refractive index means higher the speed. Okay, that is the fundamental principle behind this answer. Velocity of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, and velocity of light in a medium is 1.5 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. What is the refractive index? So refractive index is speed of light in air divided by speed of light in that medium. So it will be 2. The answer will be 2, the easy answer. So you have to remember such small formulas as well. The refractive indices or index of A is 1.8, and that for B is 2 with respect to where? What is the refractive index of A with respect to B? So again, if you are finding the refractive index relative to one and another, so refractive index of A with respect to B will be refractive index of A divided by refractive index of B. That is how you can calculate the relative refractive index. Assertion reason based questions are there will be at least one assertion and reason based question per chapter. There may be more, so you have to prepare, because generally there are two questions that comes from the physics. So I am expecting one assertion and one reason based question will come from each chapter. So a parallel incident light reflected on in only one direction from a smooth surface. Since the angle of incidence and the angle of refraction are same, a beam of parallel rays of light falling on a smooth surface is reflected as a beam of parallel light rays in one direction only. So you have to choose whether this is the reason and assertion both are correct. First, whenever you are answering reason and assertion based question, first check if both of them are correct or not. If both of them are correct, then you have to check whether reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Okay, if one of them is incorrect, then definitely you can choose the answer. If both are correct, then you have to figure out whether reason is correct explanation or not. In that case, option A is correct. If both are correct but there is no relation, or they are independently correct, then option B will be the correct answer, and otherwise C and D you have to choose it accordingly. Now one more assertion and reason based question. Refractive index of glass with respect to air is different for red light and violet light. Refractive index for a pair of media depends on the wavelength of the light used. Yes, so in this case you can directly see that both statements are correct and it is a correct explanation. So definitely it will be reason both are correct. Now short answer type 2 marker questions which are very common, small numerical type questions and small thinking type question generally comes. There is generally no direct question that from this 2 marker section. Absolute refractive index of ruby is 1.7. Find the speed of light in ruby. The speed of light in vacuum is given, so speed of light in vacuum divided by speed of light in ruby is the refractive index. So you have to calculate it using the equation. A 10 centimeter tall object is placed perpendicular to the principal axis of a convex lens of focal length 12 cm. The distance of the object from the lens is 18 cm. Find the nature, position, size of the image formed. This is also a very common type of question. How the power and focal length of a lens is lens related. You are provided with two lenses of focal length 20 cm and 40 cm respectively. Which lens will you use to attain the convergent light? Again, very common type of question. Now, diagram based questions are also super common in 3 marker section. So in 3 marker section there will be a diagram that can be any kind of diagram will be there. A light ray enters from medium A to medium B as shown in the figure. Which one of the following media is denser with respect to the other? So you have to see that the angle of incidence here and angle of incidence here, they are different. So angle of incidence decreasing, angle of refraction decreasing. Refraction decreasing means bending towards the normal, so that means it's a denser medium and this is a rarer medium. So that's how you have to identify and answer such questions. Next, this is also a diagram based question. Here there is a lens. The lens is not shown, only the diagram is shown. The above figure shows a formation of image by a lens shown in the thick line. Analyze and figure and answer the question. So you have to analyze it. This is a convex lens, that you can understand because the image which is formed is virtual and enlarged, right? So enlarged image means that definitely it's a convex lens. The power of the lens is plus 4D. Find the focal length of this lens. An object is placed at a distance of 50 cm from the optical center of this lens. State and nature the magnification, the image formed by the lens, and also draw a ray diagram. So this is also very common type of question. Lens, its focal length, object distance will be given, then some questions based on the formation of image, and then there will definitely be a ray diagram associated with it. Now long answer type question, 5 marker question. Again, this will be some descriptive type of question. An object 4 cm is placed 25.0 centimeter front of a concave mirror of focal length 15 centimeter. Again, mostly problem based questions will come from this part, 5 marker question. There will be different parts of involved in this section. Now there will be some situation based question. It can come as a now situation based question from this chapter particularly might be as a 5 marker question where you have to solve longer parts, or it can be considered as a your comprehensive 4 marker question as well, right? So both type of questions might come, but generally 5 marker questions are common from this chapter. And the next chapter, human eye, mostly the situational question, 4 marker situation based question are more common. Rishi went to a palmist and show his palm. The palmist used special lens for this purpose. Now you have to answer a certain question based on this. If you want to download the PDF, please follow our channel and the link of the PDF will be shared with you. A student focused on the image of a candle flame on a white screen using a convex lens. He noted down the position of the candle screen and the lens under the position candle, 12 centimeter, position of the convex lens, position of the screen, and then you have to answer few questions based on this observation. Now this is also a very common type of question where you will be provided a table. One of the data generally is incorrect, and here in such questions you have to be careful and identify that for when the object, if it is a lens, be it a mirror, it can, similar question might come for a lens or for a mirror. You have to identify where object distance and image distance both are same. Okay, if object distance and image distances are same, that means for a mirror this is the radius of curvature, right? Half of this value is the focal length. For a lens, this is 2f, half of this value is again the focal length, right? So this value you have to be very careful. It can be as a concave lens, a concave mirror, or a convex lens. Concave mirror, convex lens, this type of chart based question or data based questions are very common from this chapter. So you have to analyze the data, and from the data, without doing any calculation, you have to answer these questions. Okay, now next chapter, human eye and colorful world, really colorful chapter. Again, MCQs will be there. There will be two because only 2 chapters are there. 2 MCQs will come from this chapter. Let's see which of the following phenomena of light are involved in the formation of rainbow: refraction, reflection, refraction and dispersion, refraction, dispersion and tolerance. You have to identify which of the option is correct based on rainbow. So rainbow formation is very important. At noon sun appears white. Why do sun appears white? Light is least scattered because at noon sun goes exactly at the top of our head, so scattering is less, so no light gets scattered out, so most of the light reaches us, so that's why it appears white. A student sitting on the last bench can read the letters written on the blackboard, but is not able to read the letters written in his textbook. Which type of following statement is correct? So basically its near point has shifted back, that's why he cannot read anything which is near to his eye. Hypermetropia or farsightedness is the name of this defect. Next is prism ABC with BC as base is placed on a different orientation narrow as beam shown. So you have to identify, so there is a diagram, and based on this diagram you have to figure out which actually the third color from the top correspond to the color of the sky, so it will be Vib gear. So Vib gear is very important. So if you see that blue, indigo, violet, indigo, blue, that means third color from the top, but we get red least scattered, so it will be the reverse prism, so this will be the correct answer, right? The clear sky appears blue because blue light gets absorbed in the atmosphere. Ultraviolet radiations are absorbed in the atmosphere. So you have to again understand this question and answer it. I am leaving it to you. And also, if you want a detailed solution for all these questions, please mention that in the comment section of the below below. Then we can do a detailed video of these questions. So again, assertion and reason based question. The danger signal installed in the top of the tall building are red in color. The red light can easily be seen from a distance because among all the colors the red light scatters the most. So this is also a very important type of question. Now again, the reason is false anyway, but red light related questions are also very common from this chapter. Myopia, eye defect, defect of eye is the defect of vision which person cannot see the distant object clearly. Correct statement. This is due to eyeball being too short. So you have to identify whether it can be a possible reason or not, okay, and then you have to answer. Now eyeball, eye related, diagram related questions are also very common from this chapter. A student sitting at the back of the classroom cannot read clearly the letters written on the blackboard. What advice it will doctor give it to her? Draw a ray diagram to the correction of the defect. Okay, this is a very common question. Study the diagram given in the below and answer the questions follow. Name the defect of the vision replicated in this diagram, stating the part of the eye responsible for this condition. Name the type of the lens used to correct this defect and state its role in this case. So this is also very common type of question. All of them are 2 marker. Now this is a 3 marker questions. Define the term power of accommodation of a human eye. Write the name of the part eye which plays the major role in the process. Now sometimes these questions may not come directly, there may be some associated story associated with this, but the question meaning will be same, the answers will be same. You have to identify which question which answer you have to write, and identifying is major part from this chapter. A person needs a lens of power minus 4.5D for the correction of our vision. So then you have to mention what is the type of lens, what is the focal length, and then what is the nature of the corrective lens. So you have to identify this. Now 5 marker long questions. How does refraction takes place in the atmosphere? Why do stars twinkle, not the planets? So generally 5 marker long questions are less common from this chapter, but this is one of the mostly asked question from this chapter. If you want to prepare, definitely this will also help you to prepare some of the MCQs, so do not ignore that. Case study based questions are also very common from this chapter. There is one example of case study based question. I will give you some topics as well from this chapter. 2 children went to the park with their grandfather. While the kids played, the grandfather took a walk, then sat down, read his newspaper. After some time he realized he could not see the children because he had forgotten his distant glasses. So a person who is having a near vision defect, for that as well as a distance vision glasses, so both glasses he is required, and then from then you have to identify which of the following statement is correct. This is a case study based question. Now case study based question can also come from the following topic: atmospheric refraction based question, that sky is blue, or some question which is actually related to sky is blue. Answer will be sky is blue. Why it is? Because blue light scatters more than the red light. So this type of questions are expected from this chapter. And rainbow based questions, okay, why rainbow is formed and formation of rainbow based question, okay, total internal reflection, etc. So this is also very important important concept from where you can expect case study based questions, right? I hope you enjoyed this session today. All the subjects we have discussed, all the important questions for your midterm, half yearly. I'll be back with solution. If you require, please do mention that in the comment below. Till then, bye.